House Small Business Committee Chairman, Texas Congressman Roger Williams. Congressman, good evening to you. And if you look
Hey,
back
guys.
to the Biden administration, and it is almost as if they wanted to set up small businesses in this country to fail because of the regulatory burden, which many of these businesses do not have. A wall of lawyers like the big banks do, for instance, to deal with. And many of them were very frustrated.
Well, there's no question about it. I mean, you said it right. Biden administration came in and they increased regulations by $1.73 trillion on Main Street. And to comply with those regulations, small business had to come with about 200 million man hours. And like you say, small businesses don't have lawyers, they don't have accountants. And it created a heck of a problem, and it cut back on job starts, it cut back on increasing business, putting employees to work again. So it was a real disaster. And of course, the SBA, they would just continue to regulate. And the fact of the matter is they wanted big government rather than less government. And they made it harder for businesses to compete because small businesses, Cheryl, thought they were competing against the government instead of each other. And that's the way it should be.
Congressman, that's sort of how the last administration was doing things. We know their priorities. What would you like to see at the new SBA? What should that look like? What should the priorities be now moving forward the next 4 years?
Well, the SBA needs to go back to its basic mission and be the lender of last resort, not first resort, and not try to compete against banks. I'm not so sure they shouldn't be downsized. They were too big. But what we need to see is we need to see a commitment to putting people in business, working with the banks, coming out with good products. And of course, we're going to cut regulations to make it easier on small business. But they need to know who they're loaning their money to, too. I mean, we talked about the missing funds. A lot of it went to foreign nationals and other people. So as we move forward, we're going to have a great Kelly Loeffler and I get along great. We're going to have great cooperation there, but we're going to make it simple for business to get into business and people to be able to start a business and create net worth. The government can create a job, but the government can't create net worth. And that's what the SBA can do, and that's what small business does. As you said, Cheryl, employs half the payroll, half the workforce right here in this country.
Well, no, I mean, the small businesses are the engine of this nation. And so I'm really glad that things have changed. But, you mentioned Kelly Loeffler. She was just confirmed on Wednesday. Are you open? Do you think that she would be open to DOGE coming into the SBA? Do you think that there is potential job cuts coming to the SBA or funding cuts coming to the SBA?
Well, I can't speak for her, but I would have no problem with it. I mean, look at every business, every small business, the people we're talking to at some point in time have independent auditors come in and check their books. That's what you do. And I think that would not be a problem. Have DOGE come in, see where there's things can be cut and streamlined, because at the end of the day, we want to have small business and not have over bureaucracy. I mean, there was a point in 80% of the employees at the SBA weren't even working in their offices. And in the small business owner, you open at 6 in the morning, you close at 9. You're the first to open, the last to leave. And they weren't getting that kind of service from this SBA. But they will on the one that comes forward, because between her and myself, I think we're going to be totally committed, and I know we will, to Main Street America.
Congressman, I know this next topic's sort of in your wheelhouse, in your world. President Trump signaling he's going to make a move on auto tariffs, putting Mexico, Canada, Japan, the EU in the firing line.
We're going to be announcing tariffs on cars from foreign countries of 25%. That'll be done in probably April 2nd. I was going to do it April 1st, but I said I don't like that date.
All right, so if this is coming, what does that mean for the auto industry? What does it mean for consumers? What do you think?
Well, here's the deal. What President Trump is trying to do is get these manufacturing plants to do America. We shouldn't have this trade gap. America should not have a trade gap with trading partners. And so the tariffs, if he invokes the tariffs on the car industry, I've been through this before. Prices may go up a little bit, but it's worth it, I can tell you, to close this gap between the other car manufacturers and the U.S. So if we have tariffs, we'll find a way to work around it. Especially in my business, we find a way to sell everything. And actually, if the tariffs do raise prices a little bit, we're going to cut taxes. People are going to have more money. But at the same time, we've got to move units, as we say in the car business. And if we have to discount more, we'll discount. So it's possible that the consumer could actually pay less than he would be if there wasn't a tariff. But I think we have tariffs, it'll level it out, and we'll get used to it and be able to afford it.
Well, you know, Congressman, I'll be interested to see what y'all do with people like Mercedes-Benz, where at their Tuscaloosa plant, 2/3 of what they make at that plant are exported. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes.
Congressman Roger Williams, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Okay. Good to see you guys. Thank you.